This is one of those fuck-ups where I know it's a fuck-up. I fucked up, there's no way to fix the fuck-up. And I'm going to be embarrassed about this for years to come. The guest was challenging, but dealing with people treating you like trash is part of the job. I'm just a fucking desk clerk, and while it gets old being looked down upon, it's a fairly cake job, and I can smoke as much as I want. But she found a piece of grass or hay in the first room. She found a hair in the second. She found biological matter. No, I don't know what she found, and I'm not going up there to check. In the third room, I suggested that perhaps they might be happier somewhere else and cancelled their room. They left. I called her a piggy fucking bitch in the guest comments and went on with my work. They came back. He wanted whatever it was she signed, the registration card. I printed out a new copy as I can't photocopy, and he didn't want to take a picture of the original on his phone. I did not know that the guest comments were printed on the registration card. I honestly thought those were private to the hotel staff. Yeah, picky fucking bitch right there under the comments. I tried to play it off as the housekeeping had checked the system from home and saw 3 new dirty rooms and a departed guest, but it wasn't flying well. They eventually actually left. That's pretty funny. I wrongly assumed that this one was going to be about food, maybe someone being picky in a restaurant. But that's so much funnier. I mean, I'd feel bad, because yeah. But I don't think that you should feel bad. I mean, they were being difficult, probably on purpose at that point, you know. Yeah. Especially, like, if they were being rude and mistreating staff, then it's like, fuck them, there's no reason for that, you know. Okay, the next one is by Tapwelling7210. It's titled, Today I fucked up by accidentally tipping my pizza driver $125 in cash. This occurred after an unbelievably long shift, thus I will be citing exhaustion, poor management of my wallet, and brain functioning from pizza fumes. I had ordered a pizza since there was no way I could manage cooking then. The total cost approximately $25, and I decided to pay in cash. When the driver came, I took what I perceived to be 3 $20 bills and gave them to him, saying, "Keep the change." I think the guy looked at me like I had just offered him a lottery ticket. I felt proud of myself at the time, thinking, wow, this driver sure knows how to appreciate. To tell you the truth, at one point I even felt good about it, since I was the kind of customer that he would always remember in the evening. After a while, I went to check my wallet. I did not give him 3 $20 bills. I gave him 3 $50 bills. Instead of giving him a tip of around $35, I essentially gave him a tip of $125 on the $25 pizza. For a split second, I thought of contacting the restaurant and letting them know about my mistake. Then I realized what would happen after. I got called by them and was told, "You remember that nice tip you got? We will be needing most of that." At that time, I just figured out that I am going to have to leave it at that. The mistake is mine. He did not do anything wrong, and perhaps the universe needed him to be lucky rather than me having the money. The pizza was delicious, but not $150 worth delicious, but definitely delicious. It's really wholesome though, see what I mean? Like, you could have tried to get the money back, you know, after realizing, but you decided that he may need sweet, especially because like things cost a lot, man. Like times are hard, you know. That's really nice. That's a nice one. I mean, unfortunate that they were out of pocket, but yeah. The next one is by OK-Ambassador 5700, titled, "Today I effed up by trying to quietly fix the office coffee machine and making everyone think I was stealing from the snack fund." Our office has one of those fancy coffee machines with the pods kept in a little cabinet under it. The coffee is free, but the snacks next to it are on a system, like 75 cents for chips, $1 for a granola bar, that kind of thing. For some reason, the snack money box is also kept in that same cabinet. No idea why, probably because nobody wants cash just sitting out on the counter. The cabinet door had been sagging for weeks, and scraping against the frame every time someone opened it. I went to grab a pod and it made that awful wood sound again. I had already fixed something at home after a lucky steak hit in the morning. I was feeling productive, so I decided to mess with it for 2 minutes. I used to fix random stuff at my old job, so I thought, okay, easy. I'll tighten the hinge screws and become quite the office hero. So I opened the cabinet, moved the snack fun box onto the counter so I could actually reach the hinge, and crouched down with a screwdriver, which is exactly when our office manager walked in. From her point of view, I was crouched under the coffee machine with the cabinet open, coffee pods everywhere, a screwdriver in my hand, and the snack money sitting next to me. I don't know why I panicked and said I can explain, which is the worst sentence you can say when you're innocent. Yeah, it always makes you sound guilty. Then I tried to explain too fast and said I moved the money so I could get into the cabinet, which also did not help. Long story short, 3 people got involved. Someone checked the camera and it showed me walking into the break room with a screwdriver, like some kind of budget Ocean's 11 idiot. They eventually believed me, especially after seeing the door was actually sagging. That's really funny. It definitely made yourself look way more specific, way more suspicious though. God, it's so hot today. My brain is not working. I'm like sweating. Yeah, definitely didn't help yourself out in that situation. That's really funny. What shall we do next? The next one is by Stinky Frog Toes. It's titled, "Today After by Drinking an Entire Glass of Spoiled Milk." Earlier tonight, my mum came over to watch a movie. I made dinner for us and she decided she wanted a glass of chocolate milk with it. She likes to make it with regular milk and the Hershey's chocolate syrup, so that's what she did. She took a sip and said, "Ew, this is gross. There's not enough syrup. I'm not gonna drink it." So I said, "Okay, hell yes, I haven't had chocolate milk in like years." I took a sip, yum, completely fine. It was a little thick, but I kinda just chalked that up to the syrup. I drank the whole cup and it was a lot of milk. My mum loves the chocolate milk, I tell you. Well, a few minutes ago, I got up for a midnight snack and took a swig out of the milk jug. Thick and definitely spoiled. I'm already sick right now and I know this is going to make it worse, but there's really nothing I can do but wait it out. That's gross. But to be fair, I've accidentally drank spoiled milk the same way. It wasn't thick, but it was like a bit tangy, but I thought it was the drink powder that I had used in it. And then finally I decided to take a swig of the milk because I was a bit thirsty, and it tasted ever so slightly different, and I just thought it was from all the cream or whatever in the middle of the Oreos that had fallen in. I just drank it. It was fine. I didn't get sick or anything, but I realised later in the day that the milk was a bit bad because I used to drink so much milk. Okay, trigger one in this next one seems a bit gross. It's by Eva Shinova. And it's titled "The Day I Effed Up by Getting Sciatica Due to My Masturbation Habits." I have always struggled with back pain due to poor posture, but for the past year it got significantly worse. I started having sciatica and leg pain also, especially some days, but I did not know why. Then I got the biggest flare-up ever due to a certain movement I did when I was having me time, and it caused me to just lay in bed all day because of the pain. Turns out a couple of years ago I started a new habit of doing it face down, causing my spine to arch and in result pinching my nerve for months, and I did not realise it was making it worse. I'm sorry if this was not allowed, but it seemed pretty funny in retrospect. Now I am paying for a treatment plan. I'm going to physiotherapy. Pay more attention to your habits, guys. I have to say that is pretty funny, in my opinion. Okay, the next one is by a crusty, and it's titled "Today I Effed Up by Powdering My Underwear." I often drive between a few hospitals in one day since I work as a medical device rep. It has been hot and sweaty lately, and my car air conditioning has been having trouble, so it has been extra uncomfortable. I saw a post online about how guys should have powder on hand to powder their balls during the weather. I thought that's a good idea and bought some to use while changing before getting in the car. The other day I was leaving my last case and was heading to a work bowling outing. I added more powder to refresh. The powder kind of dissipated through my underwear and pants localized in the crotch area. The bowling center had purple lights that illuminated anything white, including the powder I just applied. Someone pointed it out and I tried to pass it off that it was made with food I wiped. It looked crazy. It was all over the front and the back. I don't see many of my colleagues in person and I'm not too close with them, so that made it extra weird. Yeah, I would be super embarrassed about that one, not gonna lie. I don't know what to say. That's pretty unfortunate. Pretty unfortunate. Okay, the next one. Oh my god, do you guys hear those seagulls? The next one is by Glitter Soap 3. It's titled "Today I Effed Up by Not Making Sure My Robot Baby Was Working Before Taking It on the Bus." What? I don't even know what to think of that. This happened a few years ago. I was in 11th grade. The final assessment for my parenting class was to take the Real Care Baby, a robotic infant simulator, for a few days. Like a real baby, it cries with no regard for your sleep, other classes, or mental health. You have to figure out what it needs through trial and error and keep with any issues before you're stuck with it at home. Not having to be a mom in math class was worth the risk for me, so I picked it up on a Friday afternoon. Nobody could drive me home that day, so I had to haul the car seat onto a packed public bus. The doll was the size and the weight of an actual infant, and its face was fairly believable at first glance, so I got some looks. Probably an even split between her, that girl in a school uniform as a baby, and her. That 16-year-old chose to take her weirdly realistic baby doll to school. About halfway to the station, the baby started whimpering. Great. I held my ID bracelet against his chest. No chime. I cried again. No chime. I tried again. No chime. The crying is picking up. I guess the confirmation chime isn't working. I put the bottle up to its lips. No drinking sound. I rocked the car seat. Didn't care. Now I'm rapidly and aggressively hitting his chest with a bracelet, while the crying becomes hysterical. I flip it over and do the same on the neck and book sensors. Nothing. People around me are obviously confused. All people from the care home near my school start offering parenting advice. That would be great if it were a real baby that wasn't mechanically failing. You can hit it all you want. You can hit it all you want. She won't stop crying until you feed her. That's hilarious. I finally get off the bus. The baby is freaking out. The volume and intensity of this crying is no way beyond a baby that's kind of hungry, and more so a baby that's been lit on fire. You have 2 minutes to tap your ID once it starts crying. Any longer is considered neglect and it loses its mind. I'm now on the floor of the bus station. I'm ripping off its pants to change its diaper, pressing the bottle into its face with my other hand, rocking the carrier with my knee. It doesn't care. Fuck. Everyone in the building can hear the pure agony of this thing. Some people ask if everything's okay, but majority are side-eyeing me and trying to avoid getting involved in whatever the hell is going on here. I reach to grab my phone from my backpack. I realize my backpack, and thus my phone, wallet and keys, is gone. I was so distracted that I forgot to put it back on before getting off the bus. No. So now I was stuck in the bus station with an inconsolable robot baby, none of my belongings, and no way to contact anyone about it. I run into a nice girl I know from school with her boyfriend. She lets me email my teacher on her phone while she looks around in case I just dropped the bag somewhere. Her boyfriend's job was to awkwardly rock the baby with his head turned away because the crying was so loud. The teacher responded saying there was no way for her to remotely shut off the baby and I should hurry to bring it back before she had to leave. This wasn't happening because I needed to deal with the backpack situation ASAP. I forgot to tell her boyfriend that it really matters how you handle the baby. He tried to make me feel better with some dumb joke that involved shaking it. I feel my stomach drop. Its neck audibly snaps back and forth twice, and it lets out a scream that I don't think I'll ever forget. The crying afterwards sounded like the baby is on the brink of death. Awesome, I've unlocked shaken baby syndrome. Me and my baby are sobbing together on my way to the help desk. I figure out the run number of the bus. The employee was too exhausted to give a shit about whatever nonsense was going on with me or my child. I had to wait about an hour for the bus to come back. The baby took short crying breaks, but it got to the point that I could still hear it in my mind when it stopped. I asked a woman waiting nearby if she'd call my dad and hold the phone up on speaker for me. She said no and kind of backed away. I then realized that a teenage girl with mascara all over her face, carrying a very distressed baby doll and asking to use your phone, probably looked like a weird As I'm walking back, I can see concerned people stopping around it with, "Did somebody just abandon their baby here?" looks in their eyes. I had to lift the blanket to explain my situation once again. I took my phone out. It was dead, of course. I really just wanted to go home. I couldn't check if my teacher was still at school, and I didn't think it was a kind idea to just leave it outside a classroom door for someone cleaning at night to discover. I made my way down to the subway. Some people coming up by the stairs on the other side start smiling at me and my baby. I see them do a double take once they get a closer look. I'm waiting for the subway, and a woman who seemed to be dealing with some substance issues walks up to me and asks, "Your school lets you bring your baby?" I'm really not in the mood, but I still explain and couldn't help but vent about the bullshit afternoon I'd had. She laughs unsettlingly for a bit. She begins a detailed, mostly incoherent lecture about never letting a man talk you into unprotected sex, no matter what he says. She lists every single possible thing he might say, smiled and nodded until I rushed to get on a different subway car than her. I hid in the corner, covered the baby with the blanket, and tried to muffle the speaker with my hands. I prayed nobody would see me and think I'm trying to suffocate a real infant. I finally got home. I fought tears to explain what was going on to my dad. The baby was taking a break, so he wasn't quite understanding the severity of the situation. "It seems fine right now. Maybe it cried itself out. Maybe we can just muffle it under some pillows in the basement." The completely devastated screaming of the "punish this incompetent single-teen mom" machine began. "Okay, we need to get rid of this thing." His first suggestion was putting it in the shed. Then we realized someone would probably hear it and call the police about the child in our shed. It had an internal battery pack, so we couldn't just take out the batteries. We found instructions online to trigger an emergency shutdown. Not sure why my teacher didn't send me these right away. Regardless, the lights and chimes would act like it worked, but it would start crying again a few minutes later. The screams of neglect were becoming more and more heartbreaking. I felt this deep sense of maternal shame, despite it being a robot and not my fault. "I'm sorry, I'm trying to help you, it just won't let me. You know that, right?" My mom was the same way when she got home. My teacher and I emailed back and forth for a bit. Eventually she said we could bring it back to school, and a custodian would lock it in the classroom over the weekend. After 12 hours of neglect, it would automatically shut off. On the way there, my dad made a joke about me getting the premium colic baby experience that I wasn't in the headspace to appreciate. We then handed my baby to the very sweet custodian so she could lock it in the classroom to die. Genuinely, what the fuck did I just read? Oh my god. I think that's the weirdest story that we've read on this subreddit. How the fuck was that supposed to say? The crying baby, the loose in the backpack. Oh my god. That was like everything that could go wrong did go wrong. The crackhead in the fucking subway. Oh my god. I feel so bad. So bad for that person. Jesus. Okay, the next one is by Happy-Dog121. Today I have up by loudly practicing a compliment in my car and saying it to the wrong person. This happened today and I'm still replaying it like a cringe highlight reel. I've been trying to be less awkward, so I've started rehearsing simple compliments in the car before I walk into places. Small thing, but it helps me not freeze up and blurt something weird. I pulled into a busy grocery store parking lot and noticed someone a few cars over with an amazing haircut. Sharp, fresh, clearly intentional. I told myself to be a normal person, say it and move on. I muttered under my breath, okay, just say, your haircut looks really good, have a nice day. Then I got cocky and repeated it a little louder to test my tone. What I didn't realise was that my driver's side window was down and a different person was walking right past my car, pushing a car close enough to hear me. They stopped, looked at me, and I smiled and delivered my rehearsed line like I was in an ad. Your haircut looks really good. They just stared, then reached up and patted their head like they were checking for hair. They were completely bald. My brain shorted out. Instead of backtracking, I panic laughed and said, I mean, like the shape of it. That somehow made it worse, like I was complimenting the geometry of their skull. They pushed the car away in silence while I sat there red-faced, wishing I could rewind time or at least roll my window up faster. That one's really funny. I love that. That's some awkward shit that I would do, to be honest. If I've not got like the scenario rehearsed in my head, I'm just gonna say some fucking weird shit on accident, or I'm gonna stumble my words and mash two words together and say something either bad or just gibberish and look like a total dickhead. I'm so bad. I'm like the most awkward fucking creature on earth, I swear. I'm terrible, honestly. I usually just leave any encounters to my fiance and I just stand there like a total NPC. The next one is by consent, throwaway, and it's titled, Today I effed up when complimenting a customer's photo. I had a meeting with a client today. It was at the customer premises and I had not met this customer in person before. This company is a huge account for my work and my senior management made a very big deal about it needing to be handled by a manager rather than one of the BDMs who would normally be in charge of it. This was mistake number one. Why on earth would they send someone who hasn't seen a customer in person or actually made any sales for at least the 5 years over someone who does it day in and out and probably does it far better than anyone else in the management team ever could? The meeting goes fine, and while sat in his office wrapping the paperwork up, I spot a photo on his desk, and the demon that's apparently running my brain prompts me to comment, "Oh, what a lovely picture. Is that you and your father?" Mistake it too. He looks me dead in the eyes and in the most scathing voice says, "That's my wife." I immediately lost the ability to act like a normal person, and instead of apologizing and blaming my eyesight, I reply with, "Right-o, very good," like I'm a posh police officer from the 1960s. I've never in my life used that phrase before today. Then, having failed at making small talk, as soon as he was done, I muttered, "Thanks for having me," gave up on trying to look all professional, snatched up my files and scuttled out of the building. Currently trying to think of plausible reasons to promise account of one of my staff. You can't do that. That's really funny. It's really funny to us because it's not our job on the line, but like, I would die in that situation. I would really, really die. This next one is by T.L. Moes, titled, Today I effed up by proofreading a fanfiction. This wasn't technically today, it was yesterday, but I write fanfiction and I'm also in university at the same time. So my university has a proofreader and a coding program built into one, claims to be powered by Grammarly for the proofreading, Claude for the code, and last night I finished my fanfiction and decided to pop it into the proofreader for spell check and other things. I was not purposely engaging with the coding component, changed the names in the fiction to avoid that. And I was immediately met with a very long warning about purposely attempting to bypass administrative laws. Then the application closed out. This morning I got a call from a university saying that I was flagged as violating the student acceptable internet usage policy because I had triggered Claude, which I didn't even know was being fully integrated and the figures being manually seen by the Dean of Students since I filed an appeal. Oh my god, no, I'd be horrified. I'd be so horrified. That's so embarrassing. Okay, the next one is by read only and it's titled, Today I effed up by asking my neighbours if they were burying a body. I was out walking my dog tonight and noticed 3 dudes standing in their yard with a shovel and a flashlight. I thought that maybe they were doing some type of yard work, planting something or digging something up. It's 11 PM, but who knows what a couple of guys might feel like doing randomly at this hour. Maybe they'd had a couple of drinks and one of them said, "Hey, help me dig up that bush," or something. I thought it would be funny to ask, what are you guys doing? Burying a body, trying to build rapport with the neighbours by joking around a little, you know. But you know why it looked like they were burying a body? Because they were their dog. I feel like an ass and I